America is divided by two immigration visions. Trump's new law focuses on deportation and detention, while the Dignity Act aims to create legal pathways for long-term undocumented immigrants. Who wins, enforcement or compassion? In today's breakdown, we're comparing Trump's Big Beautiful Bill with the bipartisan Dignity Act of 2025. Two powerful bills. One massive national debate. Trump's immigration law is already in motion. On July 4, 2025, President Trump signed one of the most sweeping immigration enforcement laws in American history. It's already changing how immigration is managed at every level. The law is officially titled the Immigration Security and Enforcement Act but is widely referred to as the Big Beautiful Bill, a nickname Trump proudly uses at rallies and press events. This legislation was passed quickly through a Republican-controlled Congress, fueled by campaign promises to restore order, reduce illegal immigration, and deport millions who lack legal status. The law targets not only undocumented immigrants but also limits certain rights and benefits for those here legally, including access to safety net programs like Medicaid and food assistance. What's inside the Big Beautiful Bill? The Big Beautiful Bill allocates $170 billion in funding toward immigration enforcement. This money supports border wall construction, detention expansion, and a dramatic increase in deportation operations. It also raises application fees for almost all visas, including work permits and green cards, making legal immigration more expensive for families and employers across the country. Asylum policies are also tightened under the new law. Applicants must now meet stricter standards, and many will be detained for months while their claims are processed. The law also directs ICE to significantly increase interior enforcement. This includes workplace raids, courthouse arrests, and collaborations with local law enforcement through expanded 287(g) agreements. Critics say the law goes too far. Immigrant rights groups have condemned the law, arguing it creates fear among communities and separates families without addressing the root causes of migration. The National Immigration Law Center called it the most dangerous anti-immigrant legislation in modern U.S. history, warning it could impact even legal immigrants through unintended consequences. One of the most controversial sections restricts access to the child tax credit and other public benefits for mixed-status families, which could harm millions of U.S.-born children. According to immigration attorneys, legal permanent residents are also being caught in the crossfire. Delays, denials, and notices to appear have increased sharply since the law took effect. The Dignity Act of 2025, a new direction. In response to Trump's crackdown, a bipartisan group of lawmakers reintroduced the Dignity Act of 2025 on July 15. It offers a legal path forward for undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. long-term. The Dignity Act was co-authored by Republican Congresswoman Maria Elvira Salazar and Democrat Congresswoman Veronica Escobar. It currently has support from more than 20 lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. The bill's full title is Dignity for Immigrants While Guarding Our Nation to Ignite and Deliver the American Dream. It emphasizes work, accountability, and community contribution, without granting automatic citizenship. The bill focuses on immigrants who have lived in the U.S. since before 2021 and have not committed serious crimes. It creates a 7-year legal status program, but not a green card or passport. How the Dignity program works. Under the Dignity Act, eligible undocumented immigrants could apply for a renewable legal status that includes work authorization, travel permission, and protection from deportation. Applicants must pay a $7,000 penalty over time and contribute a 1% payroll tax, which goes toward supporting immigration infrastructure and local communities impacted by migration. Participants would not be eligible for federal benefits like Medicaid, housing subsidies, or food stamps, but they could work, pay taxes, and live without fear of deportation. There's no direct path to citizenship under this program. Instead, it prioritizes legal presence and contribution over naturalization, which has drawn criticism from both ends of the political spectrum. Special provisions for dreamers and workers. The Dignity Act offers a pathway to green cards for dreamers, those brought to the U.S. as children, if they meet criteria related to education, military service, or sustained employment. The bill also invests $10 billion in border modernization, including new scanning technology, staffing, and expanded legal entry points to reduce smuggling and unauthorized crossings. A national e-Verify mandate would require all employers to confirm the legal status of their employees, something business groups have cautiously supported, though concerns about rollout remain. Asylum processes would also be overhauled. The bill sets a 60-day deadline for initial determinations and creates regional processing centers in Latin America to manage asylum claims before migrants reach the U.S. border. Enforcement versus compassion. What's the public saying? The two bills paint starkly different pictures of how to fix America's immigration system. One relies on removals, the other on regulation. But what do Americans want? A July 2025 Gallup poll showed that public opinion is shifting. Support for reducing immigration among Republicans fell from 88% in 2024 to just 48% this summer. Meanwhile, 79% of Americans now believe immigration is good for the country, the highest number ever recorded by Gallup on this question. This shift may reflect economic realities. Industries like agriculture, hospitality, and construction rely heavily on immigrant labor, and employers warn that mass deportations would disrupt supply chains and raise prices. Can the Dignity Act survive? The Dignity Act faces tough odds in a divided Congress. It failed to move forward in 2023, and despite changes in 2025, it still lacks enough votes to bypass committee blocks. To even reach a vote, the bill would require a discharge petition, a rare procedural tool that demands majority support just to bring legislation to the floor. Some conservatives continue to label it amnesty in disguise, arguing that any plan short of full deportation weakens border credibility and invites future waves of illegal immigration. Others on the left argue it doesn't go far enough. There's no pathway to citizenship for most participants, and the penalty structure may be too harsh for low-income families already struggling to survive. What's at stake for immigrants and the economy? More than 10 million undocumented immigrants live in the U.S. today, many of them working in essential industries like healthcare, agriculture, childcare, and logistics. According to Representative Adam Gray of California, the Central Valley's economy simply cannot function without its immigrant workforce, a reality echoed across several labor sectors nationwide. Mass deportations could trigger economic instability, reduce consumer spending, and leave critical jobs unfilled, especially in regions already dealing with inflation and population decline. At the same time, supporters of Trump's law argue that immigration enforcement protects national security, restores lawfulness, and prevents public services from being overwhelmed by undocumented residents. Final thoughts: 2 paths, 1 decision. The big beautiful bill is already law, and enforcement efforts are ramping up quickly. Families are being detained. Visa applicants are facing delays. Deportation targets are expanding. The Dignity Act, however, offers an alternative, one that focuses on accountability, not amnesty, and legal presence without full citizenship. Both bills reflect fundamentally different visions for America's future. One focuses on security and control. The other emphasizes regulation and inclusion. And the outcome will affect millions. What happens next depends on public support, legal challenges, and whether Congress can move beyond political gridlock. What do you think? Should the U.S. double down on enforcement, or offer legal solutions for those already here? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned for more critical updates. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for future updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.